What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Hope you guys are all having a great weekend so far. It's currently about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Saturday, May 21st. Today's video is going to be talking about an update on my real estate portfolio, not necessarily on the flip side, but these are the rental properties that I currently own. I live in one of them and then I rent out the other 5. So without further ado, we're just going to update you guys on when I bought these properties, what I purchased them for, what my current rent is, and of course, the total market value for my rental properties this specific moment. So for those of you that don't know, the reason why I'm filming this video is I am in the final stage of refinancing on my 6 rental property. I bought it with a hard money loan through my business partner, and I'm refinancing through a traditional 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So once that is closed, I technically own the property right now, but I don't really consider it fully owned until I actually refi into a normal conventional loan. A couple days left on that, so super excited for that to get closed, and I'll talk about that a little bit later too. But my first rental property, I bought it for $210,000, 2019, at Phoenix, Arizona. It's a 1952 build. It's in horrible condition right now. It's a student rental. Once all my students currently move out of it, I'm going to do a full renovation on it. Current rents with the way that I rent this house out is actually really high, and it's because I rent it per room. So it's $1,950 a month, but I do pay water at this property, so it's technically about $1,890 a month is what I get from this property. And my mortgage on here is under $900, so I make almost $1,000 a month. What I do want to do once the students move out is actually convert it to a family rental. I wouldn't make more than $1,950 if I rent it to a family, but it would just be a lot easier. I wouldn't have to find 4 tenants for it. I just have to find one family. So I think I'm going to move more towards that direction unless I can fill up these individual rooms. If I were to renovate it and then do a student rental again, I'd probably make rent about $500 to $600 a room, which would make my rent for all 4 bedrooms be about $2,200 to $2,400. So that can be an option as well. I just kind of have to feel out the market to see if it's worth trying to get students back in there. Rental property number 2, bought it for $200,000. It's another 4 bedroom. I was originally renting this as a student rental, and I had too many problems with it. I bought this February of 2020, which was so much anxiety because this was literally the month, almost the day I closed on this property was when everything started to get locked down because of COVID-19. So I had no idea what the real estate market was going to do. I had no idea if it was going to be easy to rent, if it was going to be hard to rent. So I was very stressed about this property, but I'm glad that I followed through with it. I currently get $1,795 a month from this property, and their year lease is actually up next month. So I believe I'm going to try to get $1,865 out of them, which is a boost of about $70 a month, or just under 5%, I believe. It's 4%, I believe, raising the rent up. So it's not too much. I may try for $1,875, which is about a $90 or $80 jump. So we'll see. I need to figure it out, and I would love for them to stay. They've been great tenants so far. Rental property number 3 is the one that I want to live in. It's bought for $292,000. In July of 2020. This was the first deal that I've ever bought that was off market through a wholesaler. So I had to close with a hard money loan, and then I had to refi out of it to a normal traditional loan. So this was like my first kind of real estate deal where I was heavily involved with the entire process of it. So it was very interesting, very stressful as well. This was when the real estate market, when people started selling out of kind of desperation and uncertainty. So I got a really smoking deal on this property. And then about July and August, because I closed on this with a hard money loan, I think in like June. And then July, August, September, October is when the real estate market really picked up. So I got this at a really good dip buy opportunity, I would consider it. I bought it from a wholesaler. He got it under contract at $280, so he made $12K on it. Great location. My favorite location out of all my rental properties is this one right here. It's a long-term rental, $2,075 a month, well under market value. I need to raise rents immediately. I think I'm going to raise rents to about $2,400 within the next month or 2 here. These current tenants are on a month-to-month lease, so I can kind of raise it whenever, but I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. They actually are 2 of my good friends in there. Rental property number 4, my Airbnb, bought for $358,000. Now, the market really started picking up between property 3 and 4. So you guys can tell it was about $100,000 jump, and this property is much smaller and was in much worse condition than this one. So the $358,000, if I bought it a year before, probably would have been about $275,000 to $280,000. So this is right when the market really started pushing up, and you'll be able to tell from property 4, 5, and 6. They started to increase. This was my Airbnb. I put about 100 and something thousand into renovations to get this up to where it needed to be. It's a short-term rental, like I said, and I get anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000 a month in gross rent. That doesn't mean that's take-home. By the way, my mortgage on this one's about $906. My mortgage on this is about $1,400 with HOA, and then here I'm averaging expenses probably about $3,000 to $5,000 a month on this property. And then property number 5, it's the one that I currently live in, is purchased. We bought it as a flip, and then I decided to buy it as a rental out of our LLC. So we bought it for I bought it for $446,600 in March of 2022. Gilbert, Arizona. This is my least favorite property out of all of them, and it happens to be the one that I live in. It is what it is, though. It's just a transitory move right now. I'm actually going to eventually move into rental property 6 coming up here shortly. And this one is a house hack, so I rent it per room to 2 of my really, really good friends. So yes, they're roommates, but they're also my good friends. My mortgage is $2,100, I believe, and then I get $1,600 a month. So I'm technically in the primary bedroom for about $500 a month, which is great. My living expenses are low. I'm a single guy, 28 years old. I don't spend a lot of money. I'm still trying to save as much as possible. So for me to live for about $500 a month is great, and principal pay down, all that kind of stuff is very, very beneficial. Rental property 6 is the one that you guys haven't heard of before. This is in a really, really, really appreciating area. So in about 5 to 10 years, the reason why I bought this property is strictly for appreciation. About 5 to 10 years, I believe this house is going to be worth about $600,000 to $700,000. I bought it for $465,000 out of our LLC once again. Bought it in May of 2022 in the process of closing my refinance. It's in Santan Valley, Arizona. My mortgage on this is very, very, very tight. I believe I'm about $2,240 or $2,260 a month once I'm all done with the HOA and everything like that. So I'm only cash flowing about $250 a month, but I have a very, very low entry cost on this. So my leverage on this property is very high. I'll talk about that later. So yes, I'm cash flowing the least amount out of all my properties, and it's the most expensive one. This one I believe will appreciate and be more of a longer term play for me. So yes, right now it's not ideal. My total rents are $16,000 a month is what I'm taking in, or $192,000 a year is what they are basically paying me. But I also have my mortgage and all these expenses as well. My total acquisition cost for buying these properties was $1.971 million. The current market value is about $2.75 million. So I've built about $800,000 of equity into these properties. And then I did about 25% down on all my properties as well. So I have pretty good leverage on these, or loan to value ratios are pretty good on all of these properties. So I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy that I decided to do 20% plus on every single one of these properties. Another thing I wanted to talk about on top of my monthly rent that I'm taking in, every single one of these properties, you have to keep in mind, I was talking to someone, I had a 1 hour phone call with one of my followers earlier today. It was like a little consultation because he wants to get in the rentals. There's so much more than just cash flow on these rental properties, guys. You're building appreciation as well on top of the cash flow, but they're also, if you never have to pay your mortgage down yourself, your tenants are paying down your principal. So every single month that they pay me, it basically my loan amount goes lower and lower and lower. Obviously, I have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, but every month I get paid, I think about it as like a bank account that I can't quite touch yet. So I know on this specific property, amortization is a huge thing. You guys can Google that. But basically, when you first open up a loan through a bank, your interest that you're paying them is so much higher than the actual principal pay down. And then over the 30 years, it kind of flip-flops to where towards the end of the 30 years, the majority of your mortgage payments going towards principal pay down. And then there's a very small fraction of interest. It seems unfair, but this is just a way for the banks to protect themselves. So they're getting paid a ton at the beginning of your loan, and then it tapers off towards the end, and then you're getting very little principal at the very start, but then you're getting almost every bit of your mortgage every month is going towards principal towards the end of the 30 years. But right now, to keep it simple, I believe I'm paying down my mortgage, or I'm paying down my loan every single month right now, about $250 a month. So that's an additional, essentially, cash flow that I can't quite tap into yet. Another $250 a month on my second property, which is $500 total. My third one, I believe I'm paying about $500 a month down. So that's about $1,000. These are very rough numbers, by the way. My fourth one is about $500 a month I'm paying down on principal as well. So that's $1,500. My fifth property is right around $500 as well because my interest rate's a little bit higher. So we're at $2,000. And then my sixth property, I'm not quite sure what my principal is going to be yet, but I believe it's going to be paying down about $600 a month as well. So on top of that, I'm lowering my loans by about $2,500 to $3,000 a month, and it'll just keep increasing over the 30 years. So that's something to think about, that yes, it's money you're not going to be able to get into right away, but they are paying down your loans every single month as well. Thank you guys so much. If you guys have any questions about this video, let me know. My Instagram and my TikTok are down below. Be sure to follow me on there. Give me any video suggestions you guys want to see. This was a video suggestion, so I appreciate someone, whoever DM'd me asking me for a portfolio update. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon. Drop a like, drop a comment, and follow me on my socials.